Hey, welcome to the Jewish Road Podcast. My name is Matt Davis, and I'm here with my dad, Ron Davis. Say
howdy. Hi, folks. I'm here, too.
There you go. All right. It is Thanksgiving week, and we thought, let's throw out just a little bit of a podcast. Just a little bit. Not a big one. We know people got to make their turkeys, and they got to get some stuff out there, right? There's a lot of stuff going on.
I like the stuffing.
Stuffing. Is that your favorite thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. We do a couple unique dishes, right? Kay always makes the artichoke stuffing.
Oh, the artichoke stuffing is the best.
And there's spinach and all that kind of stuff. But the other thing that we do is really weird is the carrot souffle.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a Jewish thing. It's our friends, the Katzes.
Yeah.
They're Jewish. But, it was from that restaurant in Hollywood, Chasen's, I think.
Yeah.
And it was always really good.
That's good.
We're going to talk just about a couple of things here today. But before we do, we wanted to just get you a little bit of Jewish humor. There was a whole category. Do you remember a few years back when Hanukkah was so early, because it's on the Hebrew calendar, you remember it was so early that it actually, the first night of Hanukkah fell on Thanksgiving?
I remember that.
Yeah, and we called it what? Do you remember?
No.
Thanksgivica.
Thanksgivica.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, and everybody was like, well, you didn't. I gave you a second, and then you said no. But remember, we were combining all of the Thanksgiving treats, all the food, with all of the Hanukkah ones, and it was
mass confusion.
There was a lot going on. I mean, if it wasn't confusing enough already. Here's a couple things. I'm looking at a little cartoon, and you have a turkey, and the turkey is talking to a chicken. And the turkey's looking at the chicken and says, "Thanksgiving is the worst. Sometimes I wish I was born a chicken." And the chicken looks back at the turkey and says, "Please, have you ever heard of Shabbat?" You like that one?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that too. It was good. All right, so here's just a little bit of a series. Now, do you know what a hashtag is? I'm just going to test you just a little bit.
Yeah, that's that little tic-tac-toe thing.
It's tic-tac-toe, but what does it mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, so a hashtag, when you're on social media, it kind of categorizes things.
Yeah, you click on it and it brings up the whole topic.
See, look at that.
I know that.
Yeah. You got stuff going there. Well, under the hashtag Thanksgiving with Jewish families, here are some of the tweets that have come out over the years. All right? So,
okay.
I mean, give us a sense. Like if you're going to do Thanksgiving with a Jewish family, what's unique about it? What's the spirit like during Thanksgiving with all the Jews? If somebody didn't, I mean, it's loud, right?
It's always loud.
Yeah, it's always loud. But like, what's it like when family gathers together for a holiday?
Oh, it's like, Moish, you're going to sit over there, sit over here by me.
Yeah, okay, there you go. So under the hashtag Thanksgiving with Jewish families, when your cousin doesn't show up and Bubby says, "It's okay, they'll come to my funeral." That's good, right?
Yeah, that's Jewish guilt.
It's Jewish guilt. How about 30 minutes of talking about Israeli politics followed by 2 hours of complaining about the rest of life?
Yeah, that's typical.
Yeah. Thanksgiving with Jewish families, when your mom tells you she wishes you'd visit more often.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving with Jewish families.
Yeah, wish you would visit more. Reminds me of a little story.
Oh, what is that?
This fellow calls his mother, and she answers. She says, "Oh, I haven't eaten in 38 days. I don't feel well." And he says, "Mom, why haven't you eaten in 38 days?" She says, "I didn't want my mouth should be full in case you called."
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's good. Always the guilt. How about this? Thanksgiving with Jewish families. What do you mean herring doesn't go with cranberry sauce?
Even I would say that.
How about putting on the dog's sweaters before walking them because your mom is worried they'll get cold?
Yeah. Not worried about me, just the dogs.
How about your uncle's been drinking too much Manischewitz? Thanksgiving with Jewish families. Yeah. All right. So that's just a little bit of Jewish humor for this time around, but we wanted to talk about a couple of things. First thing is, let's talk about the phrase tikkun olam. Tikkun olam. What does that mean?
Repair the world.
Yeah, to repair the world. Now, in the Jewish community, tikkun olam is kind of a big deal. And part of the ethos of the Jewish community is that we are called to repair the world. And there's a little story that goes along with it. And the story goes, A rabbi one day goes up to God and says, God, there's so much pain. There's so many problems. There's poor, there's disease, there's sickness.
There's so much to repair.
There's so much to repair. God, why don't you do something? And God looks back down at the rabbi and says, I did. I sent you.
Huh.
Aha. So the Jewish community has taken that conversation, has taken this phrase, tikkun olam, and out of that has really said, we want to do good in the world. We want to do what we call mitzvot, or blessing, right? Where are we missing this? And I was telling you about this, and you actually originally, just like many things actually, you had a problem with the phrase.
Well, I do. I have a problem with the idea that we are going to repair the world. God has already told us where this world is heading, and it's really heading to destruction. And we can even see the things that are moving in that direction even these days before the Lord returns. But if it's up to us to repair the world, I have my doubts that that's going to happen. In fact, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, to know you, to spend some time with you outside of, when you're on stage or here in the podcast, you're watching what's going on in the world constantly.
Oh, yeah.
You are a news junkie. You read articles. You are following everything. And from a very early age, before I was told to brush my teeth, to make my bed, to, eat my vegetables, I always remember the phrase, this world is going to hell in a handbasket.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you've been saying that forever. And you look at everything that's going on and you see the demise, you see the destruction, and you haven't really followed it in line with this whole, hey, well, let's get out there and tikkun olam. Let's just repair the world. Because you think that it's disintegrating.
Yeah. Well, I think it is. I think that our calling is for bringing people into the kingdom, not in fixing this world. And I don't think that there is any politician or anyone out there who is going to contribute anything to the progress of God's kingdom, politically or legally or anything like that. I think God will bring his kingdom, but he destroyed the earth once with a flood. He's going to destroy it, he says, with a fire the next time. And those who give their lives over to him will be saved out of it. But as far as us repairing the world, I just don't see that happening.
Now, it's not that you are against being good stewards of the earth.
No, not at all.
Right. So we want to take care of the world and everything that God has given us. But I think what we need to do is take this concept, because it's not horribly flawed. It's not bad, but it just doesn't go far enough. Yeah. If we are going to see repair in the world, we have to bring that repair through Yeshua.
Yeah.
That we are called, and I think that God has always been looking for willing partners, that God has come to people like Abraham. I'm going to make a covenant with you. Noah, are you willing to build this ark? And as people have stepped up and said, God, I am willing to partner with you in your redemption story or what you want to do, then God has said, great, then I will work with you and I will do that. Yeah. But what we're called to do is to bring that repair through Yeshua, through salvation.
Right. Comes through God, comes through Messiah, Yeshua. And, it's interesting you bring up the idea of Noah. God calls Noah and says, Noah, I want you to build this ark. And he spends the next 120 years witnessing, evangelizing the people of the world who, in that time, God says there was nothing in their hearts or minds except evil all day long. Right. And he was God's witness while he's building the boat, and they would have had an opportunity to escape, but they didn't. And the tikkun olam idea kind of disintegrates right there, because the whole world was under judgment, and only Noah and his family was saved out of it.
Yeah, there was an opportunity for repair in relationship with God.
Right.
In the midst of God knowing and Noah having some kind of sense that I'm building this for something, right? But
Even though he'd never seen rain.
never seen rain, but that God was about to destroy the earth.
Right.
And then redeem it. And we know in the end of the story that God ultimately, he will repair all that is broken, and creation is groaning and longing for that day. But that we are called to be there in that. And so we're here, and this is Thanksgiving week. And I think that it's unique for us as Americans, because as Americans, we sit from a place of being thankful for all we have. We're probably amongst, even though there are people who are struggling and everything, we're still amongst some of the most generous people on earth, and we have much to be thankful for. And there is in Scripture, there's a passage that we're looking at. It was Deuteronomy chapter 8. Interestingly enough, too, in my Bible, it says Moses looks backward and he looks onward.
Yeah, God is he's always invoking the idea that we remember. We're always supposed to remember. Even Yeshua, told us to remember. There are certain things that we need to remember in terms of our history, in terms of what God has done for us.
Yeah. And so here's something that's kind of interesting, and just an encouragement. Maybe this is a good passage to go through during this Thanksgiving week. But we've always said it differently. We always, culturally, we're taught we got to pray before we eat, right? But Jews, we do everything a little bit backwards.
Yeah. Right. Well, the Jewish community does it backwards. They use Deuteronomy 8, where it says, we were filled and we were satisfied and we gave thanks to the Lord.
Right. It says, when you have eaten and are satisfied, you shall bless the Lord your God for the good land which he has given you.
Yeah. So typically Jewish people will say their blessing, say grace after the meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad, though.
Remember what God has done. Maybe it would be good to say it before and after.
Yeah. And maybe in the middle, too. I always thought it's a little bit strange to be thankful. You don't know how the food's going to taste, right? So you might not really be thankful for it. As a kid, depending on what kind of meal mom served that night, you weren't always really thankful for it.
And you might not give thanks after either.
But the idea is that obviously that we're thankful because we even have food on the table. That's something to be thankful for. So in this season for Thanksgiving, our prayer is that you would experience a very thankful feast, that we would see that God is up to good things in your life, in our life, and that we have something to give as we partner with God in his redemption story, his restoring the world to bring that repair to the world. We also want to just say that we are thankful for you, our podcast listening audience. More than 75 countries. Can you believe it?
Man, that is amazing.
Thousands and even tens of thousands of people have downloaded and listened to us, which is kind of funny.
We're getting close to all the nations on the face of the earth.
Yeah. And who would have thought that from this little basement studio in the middle of central Kentucky, that whatever we're here talking about, that people would want to listen.
That's amazing. And, we are very frequently getting questions from people who are listening to the podcasts, reading the blogs, and we enjoy getting those questions, and we answer those questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them in.
Yeah, it actually is the thing that keeps you really busy. Most of the time, here's what I'll tell you. Here's behind the scenes. If you send us a question, and you can do that, save me a step. Just send it to ron@thejewishroad.com. But most of the time I get them and then I send them on to you, and then you just go for it. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. You'll spend a couple days answering a question for somebody.
Yeah, well, I want to give them the full story.
Yeah, I just want to give them an answer and let's move on. But we wanted to say thank you. Thanks for supporting the ministry. Thanks for listening to us on the podcast. Right after Thanksgiving occurs this week, there's a whole series of holidays. And that holiday that takes place just 24 hours later, it's called Black Friday.
Oh.
Right? You've heard of that, right? Yeah. Black Friday now actually starts on Thanksgiving because people go out, they finish their meal and they go line up like crazy people waiting for some sale that's going to take place, right? For Black Friday.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that.
They get stampeded.
I never did it myself.
Yeah, I can't imagine you going to do. Is there anything in the world that you would go stand in line on Thanksgiving night out in this kind of cold here?
No, not at all.
How about like tickets to go see Tony Bennett sing one last time?
Oh my gosh! Well,
That's-
I would enjoy that.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one. So followed by Black Friday is Small Business Saturday. I don't know what they call Sunday. Go to church on that day. And then there's Cyber Monday. And after Cyber Monday is what they call Giving Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Did you know about Giving Tuesday?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. That's all right. It's all these like fun made up Hallmark, holidays that show up. But this upcoming Tuesday, November 29th is Giving Tuesday. And this is an opportunity and just something that we do here in the States is to be able to say, hey, we appreciate the work of nonprofits and charities around the world. And it's just an opportunity to be able to give. It's something that we do, we give. But we wanted to just invite you to be able to, if you are looking for a nonprofit to be able to give to in this season, that you could go to thejewistroad.com and we have a donate page on there and you can give. You can give once, you can give twice, you can give recurring every single month. And what does that do when people are supporting the work of the Jewish Road?
Well, what it does is we have two prongs where we are reaching out to the church to teach and to give an understanding of the Jewish roots of their faith.
Yeah.
And we're at the same time, while we're reaching out to them, reaching out to our people Israel and equipping them to reach out to our people Israel so that they can make sense out of Jesus.
That's right. So when you give, you are enabling us to go out and to do that, to continue to put more things out there, more teachings, more videos, more podcasts, all the stuff that goes into the mechanics and the behind the scenes stuff that makes all of this work. And one of those upcoming things, and we'll be talking about this more in the time to come, you and I are going to Cuba in January of all places. Can you believe that?
I'm trying to wrap my head around it right now.
Why would two Jews go to Cuba? In fact, we're going with another Jew, and so that'll be three Jews in Cuba.
Yeah.
But what are we doing in Cuba?
Well, we're going to be meeting with pastors, teaching pastors the Jewish roots of their faith as they reach out to the people of Cuba. And also, it's amazing, but there is a rather large synagogue in Havana.
That's right.
From what I understand, about 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Our Jewish friend who goes to Cuba all the time, and he goes there involved in sports and reaching out with the word through sports and athletics, but also he's established a relationship with the rabbi at the synagogue in Havana, and I think we're going to have an opportunity to go there and to teach some.
Yeah. So it's good. So those will be some of the opportunities. We have a bunch of stuff going on here in the next year. But if you want to make a year-end donation here on Giving Tuesday, November 29th, or anytime before the end of the year, that's great. So we wanted to just say thank you for all the things, reasons that we should be thankful to God. We wanted to also let you know that we are thankful for you in supporting the work of the Jewish Road. So that was it. We told you this is going to be short and sweet. We've never gone as short or as sweet as what we've just done.
Oh, boy.
Don't expect this to ever happen again.
Yeah.
But the next one will be long just to make up for this one.
Right. And it won't be sweet.
It won't be now.
Maybe a little.
Hey, well, thanks for listening. Until next time, Sha'alu Shalom, Yerushalayim.
Yes. Remember, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Shalom.